Throughout history, the rise of Rome remains one of the most captivating stories ever told. In this journey, we explore the transformation of a modest settlement on the banks of the Tiber River into a powerful force that united the Italian peninsula. In the early days, Rome was a city that took shape during a turbulent period marked by the collapse of the regal system and the birth of its republic. This was a time of great challenges and ambitions, when the citizens of Rome began forging a destiny that would echo for millennia. The city, originally a small center of influence in the region of Latium, had its fate interwoven with that of its neighbors. As the Etruscan kings receded from power, the Romans emerged to rebuild and re-establish their identity. However, a notable setback came with the defeat by clans led by Lars Porsena, an Etruscan prince whose challenge forced Rome to reconsider its role and capabilities. The crumbling of old power structures set the stage for new alliances and conflicts. Rome had to navigate a complex web of both hostility and kinship with its Latin neighbors. The ensuing period was marked not by chaos alone, but by the spirit of resilience. As Rome's citizens united to overcome adversity, they laid the groundwork for what would become a grand military, political, and cultural legacy. Local communities, though varied in language and customs, were gradually pulled into the orbit of Rome's emerging influence. This early period, filled with both struggle and determination, became the crucial prelude to events that would unfold in the centuries to come. The story of early Rome is not just one of battles and treaties. It is a vibrant tapestry of human ambition, ingenuity, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. A legacy endures. Rome's journey from a modest city to a burgeoning power is marked by remarkable episodes of resilience and tactical brilliance. After the fall of the monarchy, the Romans faced uncertainty, yet they quickly regrouped. A significant turning point came with the conquest of Veii, a wealthy and influential Etruscan city situated just 12 miles to the north of Rome. Veii stood as both a formidable rival and a symbolic prize. Its walls and temples represented centuries of Etruscan culture and power. The siege of Veii spanned 11 long years, testing the resolve and ingenuity of Roman warriors. In the aftermath of a crushing defeat by the Etruscans under Lars Porsena, Rome was forced to rethink its alliances and military strategies. Joining forces with the Latin League, Rome established an innovative treaty that transformed old rivalries into bonds of shared destiny. This alliance, which also included smaller groups such as the Hernici, united the Latin peoples under a common defensive and offensive umbrella. By contributing equal contingents to joint military efforts and sharing the spoils of victory, the coalition became a force to be reckoned with. The siege of Veii exemplified Roman persistence. As the battle progressed, the citizens discovered new methods to boost their morale, including the revolutionary practice of paying their soldiers a wage. This decision not only improved discipline, but also ensured that Rome maintained a capable, professional force ready to defend its interests throughout the year. When the walls of Veii fell, the Romans did not merely claim a victory. They transformed an entire territory by annexing it as public land, thereby nearly doubling the area under Roman control. This conquest, full of both hardship and triumph, became a cornerstone of Rome's expansionist policy. It demonstrated that through persistence, the renewal of strategies, and the forging of key alliances, even seemingly insurmountable challenges could be overcome. Every stone from Veii and every cheer of Roman valor contributed to a legacy of transformation. This victory not only expanded Rome's territory, but also ignited a renewed spirit among its citizens. Their ability to assimilate unruly lands strengthened their unity and ambition, setting a remarkable precedent for future conquests. These decisive moments altered Rome's fate and ignited a legacy unparalleled. The arrival of the Gauls in the Po Valley was an unexpected twist that sent shockwaves through the early Roman world. Celtic tribes, fierce and determined, barreled down the Alpine passes, their long, two-edged swords glinting and their minimalist shields in hand. Though physically imposing with their tall stature, blue eyes, and blonde hair, the Gauls were often chaotic and undisciplined, a wild storm of energy that contrasted sharply with the organized, albeit recently forming, Roman military traditions. As these Celtic warriors swept across the Po Valley, they displaced the Etruscan populations and carved out a territory that came to be known as Gallia Cisalpina. This new frontier presented both a challenge and an opportunity for Rome. The Gauls were fearsome in the initial clash, their aggression and raw strength causing unease among even battle-hardened Roman troops. In 387 BC, this tension reached its peak when a horde of these marauders, driven by rage and ambition, stormed toward Rome. As the Gauls converged on the city, disaster loomed. The Roman response was dramatic and swift. Soldiers met the invaders near the small tributary Allia, and the chaotic battle quickly turned in favor of the Gauls. The Roman forces were overwhelmed, scattered in disarray, and forced into a desperate retreat. The sack of Rome that ensued was a brutal moment in the city's history. While the citizens sought shelter within the ancient walls of Veii, the Gauls ransacked the city, leaving scars that would fuel Roman determination for years to come. Yet adversity also sparks innovation. In the aftermath of this traumatic event, Rome adopted new defensive measures, culminating in the construction of the legendary Servian Wall, a fortified stone barrier designed with precision. The sack ended when the Gauls, distracted by new conflicts in their native lands and pressured by a demand for a hefty ransom, withdrew after 7 grueling months. After the horror of the sack, Rome embraced the lesson. Leaders revamped training, and citizens united like never before. New strategies were introduced to fortify the city and its allies. This moment of crisis transformed fear into resolve, and Rome emerged with renewed vigor and determination to secure its destiny. Unity, strength, and hope prevailed. Rome's relentless pursuit of expansion began to strain its earlier alliances, and the age-old Latin League soon encountered internal divisions. What once had been a cooperative alliance among city-states in Latium gradually crumbled under the weight of Rome's growing ambition. Individual Latin cities, alarmed by Rome's expansion and its consolidating military might, began to reconsider their independent futures. The breakdown of the Latin League was not sudden, but rather a steady process of shifting loyalties and changing political landscapes. While Rome continued to secure victories through decisive military campaigns, many Latin communities felt that their autonomy was slipping away. Even as Rome allied with some cities, old resentments and fears took hold among others. An atmosphere of distrust and rivalry replaced the earlier, more unified spirit of collective defense. In a strategic pivot, Rome sought to reestablish order by forging a new set of alliances. Instead of relying on the old collective structure of the Latin League, Rome negotiated individual treaties that promised mutual benefits. Among these, the alliance with the Campanians marked a turning point. Campanian cities, including important centers such as Capua, recognized that Roman support could protect them against local aggressors. The treaties granted these cities valuable rights: commercium, allowing free trade, and connubium, ensuring legally recognized marriages between citizens, thus cementing ties that were both economic and social. This fresh alliance brought remarkable military cooperation. The Campanians contributed considerable resources and manpower, bolstering Rome's campaigns in southern Italy. As battles ensued, the strategic collaboration between Rome and its newly allied Campanian cities significantly altered power dynamics in the region. This new phase of diplomacy and conflict laid the groundwork for the future unification of the entire peninsula. Ultimately, the disruption of the Latin League and the rise of individual bilateral treaties represented Rome's shift from traditional alliances to a more convenient model of hegemony. Through a combination of military prowess and innovative diplomacy, Rome turned former allies into integral components of its expanding dominion, paving the way for a unified Italy whose legacy would reverberate through the ages. By transforming old alliances into tailored pacts, Rome not only secured its borders, but also redefined regional power. This strategic reorientation was innovative and pragmatic, uniting disparate communities under a common purpose. Such bold diplomatic maneuvers laid the essential groundwork for Rome's future domination over Italy. These actions echo through history as a masterclass in adaptive leadership indeed, remarkably. Rome's military history is replete with enduring conflicts that tested its resolve and forged its empire. Among these, the wars with the Samnites stand out as pivotal episodes that dramatically reshaped Rome's destiny. Initially, Rome's expansion in Campania brought it into direct conflict with the Samnites, a proud and formidable people whose own ambitions clashed with Roman interests. Early battles, such as the disastrous encounter at the Caudine Pass, left deep scars on the Roman psyche, teaching them painful lessons in strategic vulnerability and the necessity of adaptability. Following this setback, Roman generals overhauled military practices and infrastructure. The construction of roads like the Via Appia was not merely about connectivity. It was a tactical masterstroke that allowed the swift mobilization of troops, ensuring that forces could be redeployed rapidly across the region. As Rome waged continuous warfare, its enemies, including the Samnites, Etruscans, and Gauls, formed uneasy alliances, hoping to counterbalance Rome's growing military might. The conflict escalated when the Gauls and Etruscans allied with the Samnites, creating a multi-front challenge for Rome. In a climactic battle near Sentinum in 295 BC, Roman legions, seasoned by years of relentless conflict, delivered a crushing defeat to this formidable coalition. The victory at Sentinum was a turning point. It demonstrated Rome's tactical innovation and the effectiveness of its reorganized military system. The spoils of war flowed back home, further fueling Roman ambitions and solidifying its reputation as an indomitable military power. Amid this turbulent period, one of the most dramatic figures emerged from the Greek world, Pyrrhus of Epirus. Known for his brilliant but costly tactics, Pyrrhus intervened in Italy at the request of local allies aggrieved by Roman expansion. Bringing with him an army that included heavily armed phalanx infantry, a renowned Thessalian cavalry, and even fearsome war elephants, Pyrrhus challenged Roman forces in a series of fierce battles. At Heraclea in 280 BC, his tactical acumen and the novel use of war elephants gave him an early advantage, forcing the Romans into a defensive posture. Yet despite his battlefield successes, Pyrrhus paid dearly in casualties, a sacrifice so great that it birthed the term Pyrrhic victory. Subsequent engagements near Osculum further revealed the high cost of his ambitions. Recognizing that his victories drained his resources and weakened his long-term position, Pyrrhus eventually sought peace and withdrew from Italy. His brief incursion, while initially alarming, ultimately served to further galvanize Roman efforts. In the aftermath, Rome capitalized on the exhaustion of its enemies, systematically reducing Samnite resistance and consolidating its control over central and northern Italy. These prolonged wars, spanning decades of relentless struggle, not only reformed Roman military tactics, but also reshaped the political landscape of Italy. Each battle, whether won at great cost or lost with pride, contributed invaluable insights and hardened the resolve of a rising power. Through sacrifice and strategic brilliance, Rome emerged stronger, each conflict a stepping stone towards the vast empire it was destined to become. These decisive moments altered Rome's fate and ignited a legacy unparalleled. South Italy presented a unique mosaic of cultures, where Greek cities, indigenous communities, and burgeoning Roman influence intersected. In this dynamic setting, areas such as the territories of the Lucanians and Bruttians, along with several remaining independent Greek city-states, like Tarentum, became theaters of intense conflict and political maneuvering. The Greeks had long protected their own interests, relying on support from far-off Hellenic realms, but internal discord and emerging threats gradually undermined their autonomy. Rome's involvement in South Italy was both pragmatic and transformative. When Thurii, a modest yet strategically located city, found itself besieged by relentless assaults from the Lucanians, it turned to Rome for protection. The Roman response was swift. Troops arrived to relieve and garrison Thurii, signaling a clear commitment to extending Roman stability into southern realms. This decisive action, however, triggered tensions with Tarentum, a powerful Greek city whose aspirations for independence were fiercely guarded. In response, Tarentum retaliated by engaging Roman forces in naval skirmishes and even sinking a number of Roman triremes. The clash that followed escalated into a full-fledged war, drawing in multiple regional actors. Despite the fierce resistance from Tarentum and its allies, the Romans gradually mounted a series of successful campaigns. The intervention of the renowned Pyrrhus provided temporary relief for the southern Greeks, yet his victories came at steep costs, ultimately leaving his forces overextended. As battles raged on, Rome's superior organization, relentless determination, and innovative tactics gradually wore down the opposition. Over time, even the once indomitable Tarentines and their allies were compelled to seek terms with Rome. By 270 BC, the turbulent south had been fully absorbed into the Roman sphere, marking a significant milestone in the unification of the Italian peninsula. This remarkable conquest in the south showcased Rome's unwavering resolve and innovative spirit in uniting diverse peoples. By the conclusion of its military campaigns, Rome had not only secured its territorial ambitions, but had also woven together a complex tapestry of diverse communities. The crescent of Roman power was now composed of full citizens, municipia, and federate allies, each with unique rights and obligations. Through thoughtful treaties guaranteeing rights like commercium and connubium, Rome bridged cultural divides and integrated conquered populations into its burgeoning state. These innovative policies allowed local traditions to persist, even as they contributed to a unified Roman identity. Instead of imposing uniformity by force, Rome opted for a pragmatic system that encouraged cooperation while ensuring that loyalty to the state remained paramount. This method forged a confederacy where military service was shared, and every ally, whether an old Latin city or a newly integrated Italian community, played a vital role in Rome's defense and prosperity. In this decentralized, yet cohesive structure, Rome established enduring administrative frameworks that would influence governance for centuries. The legacy of Roman confederacy is evident in modern concepts of citizenship and federal unity. Today, the spirit of Roman integration serves as a reminder that strength often arises not from homogeneity, but from the careful balance of diversity and shared purpose. Ultimately, Rome's blend of military might and savvy diplomacy laid the groundwork for an empire whose impact resonates in modern times. This unification of Italy, born from wars and treaties, stands as a testament to ingenuity, adaptability, and visionary statecraft, shaping the foundations of Western civilization. Unity endures.